Greetings, I'm Argon, and I once called Emberfall my home, a village cursed with fading light and withering life. The cause? A captured phoenix, its sorrowful song draining the land. With my loyal dog, Shadow, I confronted the greedy merchant who held the majestic bird prisoner. I knew brute force wouldn't work, so I devised a plan, a clever trick to outwit him. And it worked. As the phoenix soared into the sky, its flames reignited the land, bringing life and hope back to Emberfall. In return, it left me a single golden feather, a promise that, in times of need, I could call upon its power again. That day, I learned that courage and cleverness can turn the tide of fate. And that's a story worth sharing.
The village of Emberfall was once a thriving haven, its fields lush with golden wheat, and its orchards heavy with fruit. But now, the land was barren, the air thick with despair. Argon and his loyal German shepherd, Shadow, arrived at the village gates, their boots dusty from the long road. The villagers whispered of a curse, a mournful song that echoed through the nights, sapping the life from their crops. Argon's sharp green eyes scanned the horizon, and his heart ached at the sight of withered fields and hollow faces. He approached an elderly woman drawing water from a well. The woman's voice trembled. "It's the Phoenix," she said. "A merchant came to our village weeks ago, capturing the great bird. He keeps it caged, plucking its feathers for gold. But the Phoenix's song, it's a song of sorrow. It drains the life from our land." Argon's jaw tightened. He had heard tales of the Phoenix, a creature of fire and rebirth, a symbol of hope and renewal. To see one caged and exploited was unthinkable. "Where is this merchant?" he asked. The woman pointed to a grand tent at the edge of the village, guarded by burly men with swords at their hips. Argon nodded, his mind already racing with a plan. He crouched beside Shadow, scratching the dog's ears. "We'll need to be clever about this," he murmured. Shadow barked softly, his tail wagging in agreement. That night, under the cover of darkness, Argon and Shadow crept toward the merchant's tent. The mournful song of the phoenix filled the air, sending shivers down Argon's spine. He peered through the tent's flap and saw the majestic bird, its fiery plumage dimmed, trapped in a gilded cage. The merchant, a rotund man with a greedy glint in his eye, was counting a pile of golden feathers. Argon's heart burned with anger, but he knew brute force wouldn't work. He whispered to Shadow, "Create a distraction." The dog darted off, barking loudly and drawing the guards away from the tent. Seizing the moment, Argon slipped inside. The merchant looked up, startled. "Who are you? How dare you intrude?" Argon stood tall, his voice steady. "I've come to free the Phoenix. Your greed is destroying this village." The merchant laughed. "The Phoenix is mine. Its feathers are worth a fortune. I'll not let some boy take it from me." Argon's eyes narrowed. "Then you leave me no choice." He grabbed a nearby lantern and hurled it at the merchant, who stumbled back in shock. Argon quickly unlocked the cage, his hands trembling as he reached for the phoenix. The bird's fiery eyes met his, and for a moment, he felt its pain and sorrow. "You're free," Argon whispered. The phoenix let out a triumphant cry, its feathers blazing with renewed light. It burst from the cage, scattering golden embers as it soared into the night sky. The merchant screamed in rage, but Argon was already running, Shadow at his side. Outside, the villagers gathered, their faces filled with awe as the phoenix circled above. Its mournful song transformed into a melody of hope and renewal. The barren fields began to shimmer, and tiny green shoots pushed through the soil. The orchards blossomed, and the air grew sweet with the scent of fruit. The phoenix descended, landing gracefully before Argon. It bowed its head, plucking a single golden feather from its plumage and offering it to him. "Thank you, brave one," it said, its voice like the crackling of a warm fire. "Take this feather. When you are in your darkest hour, call for me, and I will come." Argon accepted the feather, its warmth spreading through his hand. "I will treasure it," he said. The phoenix nodded, then spread its wings and soared into the heavens, its song echoing across the land. The villagers cheered, their gratitude pouring out like a river. But Argon simply smiled, his heart full. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to watch Argon's other awesome adventures.